And boom, we're live. Thank everybody for joining episode 111. Today is September 15th. We're just about a week or almost a week away from UFC 279, which was Nate Diaz versus Tony Ferguson, a mix-up from the weigh-in that was originally supposed to be Nate Diaz versus Khamzat Chimaev in a fight that would have been wildly less entertaining than the actual main event was. So it was a pretty good change. If you guys hadn't heard about what happened in UFC 279, I don't know what you're doing here because this is really only for the diehard fans. And of course, everybody knows what happened. So Khamzat Chimaev didn't make weight. It made a substantial shift in the top three fights of the night. The three fights that were supposed to happen was Nate Diaz versus Khamzat Chimaev, welterweight division, Tony Ferguson versus Li Jingliang, welterweight division, and Kevin Holland versus Daniel Rodriguez in a catchweight 180-pound fight. That was both fighters are welterweight division, but they just decided on a catchweight. And what ended up happening was Chimaev was supposed to weigh in at 171. The welterweight limit came in at 178.5. Everybody else made weight, their intended weight. So because of that, Nate Diaz was kind of in an enviable spot of being able to hold the entire fight night or the entire pay-per-view hostage and do whatever he wanted to do. Nate Diaz chose to continue on with the event. I'm sure he got the bag for it. And then there was about a couple hours after the press conference, which was Thursday night into Friday, that there was a bunch of pandemonium. No one knew it was going to happen. But a couple hours later, it was rumored that Tony Ferguson versus Nate Diaz was the fight that was trying to be made. Now, there was a bunch of other details that were flying around MMA Twitter, like Dustin Poirier trying to get called on short notice. Nate Diaz threatened to back out of the fight. Khamzat Chimaev might headline against Li Jingliang in a rematch that nobody would have wanted to see. But what ended up happening was what everybody wanted to happen, which was Diaz versus Ferguson in a fight that we all knew was going to be not only nostalgically pleasing, but a fight that was going to be competitively entertaining. And it was. The undercard fights were a little bit of, it was a little weird. So Jingliang versus Rodriguez was a fight that people were like, all right, that's cool. Like Daniel Rodriguez hasn't fought in a year. Li Jingliang had a pretty good build-up to this fight. People were rooting for him. And the Khamzat Chimaev versus Kevin Holland fight was interesting to some, not interesting to others. Me, myself included, being in that category of not very interested. Exactly what I thought would happen happened in this fight. In the first 5 seconds, Chimaev took down Kevin Holland, and eventually within 2 minutes, Darce choke submitted Kevin Holland. I obviously wouldn't have guessed that it was a Darce, but I knew that he was going to be submitted soon. I said it was the second round. I should have said first. But yeah, Khamzat Chimaev with the easiest win of his career. And that's not to take anything away from Kevin Holland. Kevin Holland is a tremendous talent, and I think ever since he's gotten a welterweight that he dropped down from middleweight, I think Holland has been doing really well. He just ran into one of the best, maybe the best fighter in that division. And so it was going to be an uphill battle. You know, he was training for Daniel Rodriguez, who's a stand-up fighter, and now he has to go against Khamzat Chimaev, who is a wrestler on 1 day's notice, and a guy who's significantly stronger. It was always going to happen for Holland. So big ups for him for taking the fight. You know, as I described earlier, Chimaev weighed in at 178.5, and Holland weighed in at 180 because of the catch weight stipulations that he had against Daniel Rodriguez. So the weight difference wasn't there. In fact, Kevin Holland weighed in a pound and a half heavier than Chimaev. Now, whether that is what the fighters were during the actual fight, that's probably not the case. Kevin Holland's probably a good 5, maybe even more pounds lighter than Chimaev, just because Chimaev inflates his body weight. You know, he walks around like 200 pounds. Somehow makes 170 pounds for welterweight. But yeah, I'm gonna dive into each fight specifically. Austin is gonna be here very shortly, I hope. But until then, you got me. I'm riding solo today. You know, haven't done this in a long time. It's a bit of a challenge. It's kind of weird. I'm just in my office talking to nobody, having a conversation with the viewers We do have a couple viewers today, which is kind of fun. I hope everybody's enjoying it so far. I'm going to take a quick commercial break because I actually forgot to grab a water before I started. But when we get back, we are going to go over UFC 279, and we're going to start diving into each of these matchups. And hopefully, Austin will get here soon. We can get his thoughts on it. We're going to try to get a couple other of the boys' thoughts on it. We haven't had a guest appearance on the podcast in a little bit now, so we need the boys. We need Dylan. We need Mark. We need Colby. We need Mike. Definitely Austin to show up and show out. Make sure you follow us on our Twitter, which is down below. Posting a lot of content lately. We've been posting articles just pertaining to our podcast. Last week, we wrote our top 15 pound-for-pound best fighters ranking, and we've been doing a lot of stuff. So make sure you go follow us on our Twitter to see all of that. And I will be right back to start talking about UFC 279. Boom, we're live again. All right, so we actually have some viewers today, which is pretty fun. You guys want to comment because I am open to ideas. You know, this is the first time I've done a podcast by myself in a couple weeks, couple months, really. So let me know what you guys want to hear. What do you want to talk about today? I want to keep it centered around UFC 279 going into next weekend, even going all the way up to UFC 280. You know, if we could keep it in that realm, that'd be great. But the later the show goes, the less I want to hear myself talk. I'm sure I'd be open for anything. So without further ado, let's jump right into UFC 279. So the first fight on the main card, one of the wildest fights in the fight that no one really predicted, as I am not ready for my banners today. It was Johnny Walker versus Ion Cutelaba. This fight was the best pick we had at MMA Complete last weekend. Go check out the tapes of our picks, which, by the way, if you don't follow Twitter for our picks, you're missing out because I picked the entire main card correctly. We did a lot of unit profits last week. It was a great time. It was the first UFC hit, a real hit that I've had in a while, and it was amazing to have that. So you guys should really be on that. I don't know why you guys aren't listening because I'm making money. We're making money. You should be too. And I hope you are. But if you're not, you know how you can. All right. We heat up every year at the end of the year, right around now. October, going into November, especially with UFC 280 right in that peak time. And we've been just analyzing the shit out of UFC 280 with our picks that we will be putting on Twitter very soon. I got to tell you, 5 for 5 in the main card. I had 2 picks in the prelims, including Chris Barnett, who everybody and their mother took Jake Collier. I don't know why. I knew Chris Barnett was going to get a knockout. So if you're not following for these picks, go follow our Twitter. We're making you money. It's free money too. We're not even charging you guys for these picks. It's just our dumbass crew going over the picks, talking about who we like. We figure this shit out. Last week it was Johnny Walker. Johnny Walker was plus 180. Now, anybody who tell you that they knew Johnny Walker was winning by submission is a fucking liar. All right. Nobody knew that was going to happen. Some people on the Verdict app, which if you don't have Verdict, you should go download the app. It's a great app where you make all your picks. You decide how everybody's going to win for main cards of UFC, PFL, Bellator fights, all of them. It's a really fun app, and you can play with your friends, and you can go in leaderboards. I'm not sponsored by them. I have no advertising ability for them, but It's just something me, Austin, a couple other of our boys have been doing, and it's a really fun exercise. You guys can go friend us, MMA Complete Podcast, and myself, Zach Drapo, Austin Garvey, Brendan Tappan, Ethan Champlain. Like, we all do the verdicts. You can go friend us and see what our picks are for the week, and you can see if you guys have better picks. You know, it's like a fun little ranking system. Anyway, people had Johnny Walker picked by submission in the first round on this app, and it was like something like plus 900 odds, which in terms of betting odds would be like plus 9,000, right? So it was a ridiculous pick. Some people got it, and, you know, props to them. I can't believe it happened, but it did for some people. But nobody went to the bookie and bet on Johnny Walker by submission. It was plus 1,400. Johnny Walker had never gotten a submission before, and I believe Cutelaba had never been submitted before. All right, so that was out of here. And how the fight, what actually happened in the fight was even more wild. Walker was landing a couple shots. Cutelaba took him down pretty early, though. He had good positioning on him, and then Johnny Walker made an amazing roll in which he transitioned from bottom half guard to back mount. And then within a minute, took back mount, kept landing shots, kept moving his arms, and sunk in a rear naked choke. And that was it. Cutelaba tapped. In the weirdest fucking fight, because nobody thought Walker would win by submission. We had Walker winning by TKO. We didn't put bets on it, luckily. But we did have Walker on. I had Walker on multiple money lines. So did Austin. And it hit, baby. That shit hit. Best pick of the night. Nate Diaz was another underdog that we picked that ended up winning. But Johnny Walker at plus 180 was the best odds, for sure. And then there was some weird fucking thing where Johnny Walker and his coach, Jack Kavanaugh, who is one of the most respected and longest tenured UFC coaches, or coaches that have associated with UFC ever, Walker and Kavanaugh got kicked out of the arena. Like, Walker was still in his Venom tights, no shoes, no shirt, no service, and got kicked out onto the street, out of the wherever it was, the Las Vegas UFC Apex, where the fuck it was. I don't think it was Allegiant Stadium. I doubt that. Wasn't it Allegiant Stadium? I know it was in Vegas, but I can't. T-Mobile Arena. That's what it was. Of course, the T-Mobile Arena, the most famous arena in Las Vegas. They probably have like 3 or 4 fucking huge stadiums, don't they? And MGM Grand is also in Vegas. T-Mobile Center, Caesars Palace, which they haven't done a UFC event in a long fucking time. So yeah, there's a bunch in UFC, but it was at T-Mobile Arena, and they just sent Johnny Walker out to the strip in his tights with his coach. Said, "Thanks for the win, thanks for the drawing power. Here's your money. Bye." Kid couldn't even stay for the main event. I don't know what happened there. If you guys know, please comment or tweet at me, because I've been trying to figure this reasoning out for so long. I can't figure out why Johnny Walker got kicked out of the event. I have no idea. His coach tweeted about it. It was a huge thing on Twitter during the main card because no one could figure it out. And then it's kind of washed away. No one's talking about it. I've been trying to figure this out. So if you guys know anything, tweet at me, at @complete_MMA. Tweet at my regular Twitter if you want. It's so weird. But anyway, we're going to move on because we got 4 more fights to cover. In talking about things that have got swept under the rug in MMA Twitter, things that are not getting talked about in UFC 279, the fight of the night that no one wants to admit, and ing the knockout of the night as well, if I'm thinking about it, right? Chris Barnett had a TKO knockout over Jake Collier. Jingling Rodriguez was decision. Kamaev Holland was submission. Diaz Ferguson was submission. So yeah, knockout of the night and fight of the night belong to Irene Aldana and Macy Chiasson in the women's. Well, it was a catchweight bout. It was 140 between bantamweight and featherweight. But it was an amazing fight, guys. When I say that this is one of the most back and forth fights I've ever seen. Like, for me, the best women's fight I've ever seen in my life is Joanna Jędrzejczyk versus Weili Zhang, number 1, right? There's a couple others that you can rival in there. Like, I mean, Nunes Pena 2 was good. Nunes Shevchenko 1 was good. But Zhang Young Jacek 1 is the best. And then I would probably give number 2 women's fight I've ever seen to this weekend, Macy Chiasson versus Irene Aldana. Fireworks the entire time. Macy Chiasson is one of the toughest fighters I've ever seen, regardless of gender. And I might get canceled because whatever. But Macy Chiasson got thrown into a deep armbar in the first round with 1:30 left, 2 minutes left. And the way Irene Aldana was twisting her arm and rolling through to continue the armbar and putting the armbar behind her back, it looked like the time Charles Oliveira armbarred Tony and his elbow hyperextended really badly. Like, it looked like that, but her shoulder was also spinning as it happened. And Macy Chiasson didn't tap out, and she got through the 1.5 that the shit was locked in. It was nasty. It was gross. It was nuts. We were all tapping for her. Chiasson didn't tap. In the second round, not only was she able to still move her arm, which must have sucked because it was either, she might have had a torn ligament, she might have had a separated shoulder. She had to have something the way this arm was moving. And she wins round 2. Not only that, she outstrikes Irene Aldana, which is tough enough without a fucked up arm. And she takes her down on her arm, using that as leverage. So Chiasson not only wins the second round, but almost as dominantly as the first round. Now, I wouldn't give Aldana a 10-8 for the first round, but it was really close because Aldana just, in the last 1.5, it was so decisively Aldana who was in a dominant position. But Chiasson gave Aldana almost zero offense for the entire second round. So it's going into the second round, 19-19. Everybody that is watching with us is already like standing up. This is a crazy fight. What the fuck's going to happen? Is Chiasson going to run out of gas after putting that kind of performance in the second round? Is Aldana going to get her back to the ground? What's going to happen? Well, Macy Chiasson takes her down to the ground again. And we're like, what the fuck? Like, Chiasson's really going to come back and win this fight after getting armbarred. And then a UFC first happens. So this fight's already crazy enough. This fight's already ridiculous. Anything could happen. It's 1-1 in the cards between 2 top 10 fighters of their division. Irene Aldana gets taken down, and Macy Chiasson gets up from full guard, in standing stack guard, is holding Aldana's legs, and Aldana throws an up kick in which her heel lands on Macy Chiasson's liver, and Chiasson's body shuts off. Completely shuts off. She falls limp with her hand between her legs on the ground. She cannot move. Aldana and the referee are both like, they don't know what to do. It takes a legitimate 3 seconds of Macy Chiasson being completely motionless on the ground. Irene Aldana is standing up at this point for the referee to call the fight because he didn't know what the fuck happened. First ever up kick, liver kick knockout in the UFC. After all the drama in the first round, Macy Chiasson almost getting her arm broken, coming back to dominate the second round, and then starting to dominate the third round in a fight where there was fireworks. I didn't even talk about the time Chiasson knocked down Aldana in the third round. Aldana got knocked down by a right hook. That isn't even the top 5 moments of this fight. In a 3-round fight, nonetheless, that didn't even go the distance. I don't even know if it went to the over. Did it go over 2.5? No, it was just under 2.5 rounds. And Macy Chiasson gets knocked out after all that, after all of her troubles. Hate to see it. I think both of these fighters were winners. Obviously Irene Aldana is going to climb a little bit more in the rankings. Speaking of that, I haven't checked the rankings this week. I've been a little too busy writing all these articles. Go check out fanduelingsports.com for articles and check out our Twitter where I've been posting every article. So women's bantamweight division saw nothing happen. Irene Aldana is still 4. Macy Chiasson still 10. Interesting. Daniel Rodriguez. Oh, we're going to get into that fight next. So, yeah. Applaud to Macy Chiasson. I thought she impressed me more than Irene Aldana, even though Aldana got the win. Aldana was the number 3 ranked, Chiasson number 10. So it was really Chiasson fighting way above her caliber, and she showed how tough she is. I firmly believe that liver kick, I'm sure it would hurt anybody, but if it wasn't placed exactly the right way, where Chiasson's body shut off, it's not like she went to the ground and tapped because she was in pain or gave up. Her body shut off. She could not move, and the referee was forced to stop it. And I firmly believe that Chiasson would have kept fighting if her body didn't turn off like that. So it was an amazing fight. Can't say enough about this fight. One of my favorite fights I've ever seen happen. I was so nervous in the first round. I was so excited in the second round, and I was so curious in the third round. Like, this fight had me in every single emotion. It was really great. Fight of the night, one of the fights of the year, which, by the way, is another article that I just posted, the fights of the year so far in 2022. I believe I gave that fight, Aldana Chiasson, number 3 of the year, best fights so far. Let me know in the comments or tweet at me if you guys know what number 2 are. And now we get into the top 3 fights. These are the 3 fights that got shuffled all around in the ruckus that was the UFC 279 press conference in Miss Weigh-ins, which was almost entirely Khamzat Chimaev's fault. And we see the first travesty of it. We see Li Jingliang, who was scheduled to fight at 171 against Tony Ferguson in the co-main event, fight Daniel Rodriguez, who is a jiu-jitsu black belt, a man who is coming into this fight at 15-2 in his career and has taken a year off to heal his body and get back into the swing of things, and who weighed in for this fight at 180 and 1/2 pounds. So Jingliang coming in fighting a guy 9 pounds heavier than him, almost 9. It's like 8.5 pounds, but it's 9 pounds. And Jingliang is, for me, the single most. I don't even know how to describe it. Like, everything was looking great for him before the event. You guys really should go check out the Twitter reels that he's put of before the event, because this man must have dropped 20 grand on this suit and appearance and how he looked, and his haircut and his fucking boots and I don't know, his makeup, whatever. He must have dropped so many bags on it, because this man was looking incredibly fly. He looked like $1 million when he was about to walk on the press conference. And then as soon as the UFC press conference is called, this man is literally about to walk up on the stage. He's waving hi to the media, and he just gets pulled. So he doesn't even get to show off his suit or his however much he spent. And then he gets his fight canceled, which would have been a co-main event against Tony Ferguson. You get the limelight in a fight that he was really favored for, in a fight that I think he would have won. I think Jingliang would have beaten Ferguson by decision. I have that ticket, Jingliang by decision, that got a push because the fight didn't even happen. And not only does he not get to show out how swaggy this dude looks, but now he has to fight a guy that's 9 pounds heavier than him. All right? Yeah. I'm going to say this for everybody, right? Because taking a fight on 1 day's notice is so impressive, brave, tough, badass, whatever you want to call it. It's a absolute commendation for anybody that did it. All 6 of these fighters. I can give less props to one in particular that we're going to talk about in a little bit. The bad guy, the guy that the entire T-Mobile Arena booed the shit out of. We're going to get that in a minute. I think you guys already know who I'm talking about. And I will get to those comments. I see there's a couple comments in a couple minutes. But the Jingliang Rodriguez fight was it was a good fight. Like, there was nothing special about this fight. There was nothing wildly entertaining. It was a good fight. A lot of people are claiming that this was a robbery, that the judges got this one completely wrong. If Austin does join me, which he's supposed to, he should be here any minute. If he does join me, I'll let him talk about it because I think, or I know that he's one of the people that feel strongly that this fight was judged very poorly. So what ended up happening was Daniel Rodriguez won by split decision in a fight that was very competitive. I personally think that Jing Liang won. I think Jing Liang won 29-28, and it was very close 29-28. Anytime that happens, if the other guy wins 29-28, I'm not super upset about it. Do I think Jing Liang did enough to cement that he won? Do I think that it was a clear Jing Liang win? No. I think he definitely lost. I'm pretty sure it was round 2. Or no, I think he lost round 3. He definitely lost round 3, in my opinion. You're going to hear differing opinions for everybody. He definitely lost round 3. Round 2 is very close. And anytime that's the case, I think Jing Liang won, and they give it to Rodriguez. Am I super pissed about that? Do I think that that was a fucking travesty? No. I think that that's what happens. And as a fighter, if you have a super close fight like that and you don't finish your opponent and the judges don't give it to you, you really can't say shit. Now, was there any knockdowns in this fight that would have definitively given a round to one of the guys? No. Jing Liang got a lazy takedown in the last 5 seconds of round 2. Should that count toward judges scoring the second round? I believe so. It was a lazy takedown right at the end. So should it 100% give the round to him? I'm not a judge. I can't say that for sure. I'd like to think of myself as a UFC expert at this point because I've been in it so much and I know so much about it. But I don't. There wasn't enough in this fight to say that Jing Liang definitely should have won. I think he should have won. I'm not more qualified than a judge to say that he should have. Do judges get fights wrong? Yes, for sure. Do they get more fights right than they do wrong? Yes, they do. So this is going to happen, man. Anytime it's a close fight like this, sometimes the wrong guy's going to win. Jing Liang got robbed? No. Jing Liang should have won? Probably. But then again, Daniel Rodriguez had a great fight too. Daniel Rodriguez is on a 5-fight win streak now. And he just got ranked number 14 in the welterweight division, which is what I was going to say, which is why I almost cut off and then started talking about it. So Daniel Rodriguez, number 14th in the division, his first fight after being away from the division for over a year. And sorry, I'm looking at the rankings right now. And Li Jingliang falls out from the welterweight division. Now, that's interesting, right? So Li Jingliang is no longer ranked in the welterweight division after getting a one-day notice fight against a guy who's not even welterweight. He's catchweight. He's 180. He's closer to middleweight than welterweight. And Jing Liang loses the fight barely. And he was number 14 in the division, and they bump him out of the division entirely. And they leave Michel Pereira at 15. That's tough. That's really tough. I don't think that he should have been taken off the rankings at all. I think that he should have stayed number 15. Give Rodriguez 14. But then again, the guy was 180. He wasn't even fighting at welterweight. So can you really give him a ranking for welterweight, especially after not having a win in the last year? Whew, man, I didn't realize the repercussions of that at all, honestly. This was a good fight. There was nothing crazy about it. A lot of people love the Li Jingliang. He's grown a following as of late. I respect him. I think he's a really good fighter. I think he has the ability to knock the fuck out of people. So, props to him. But I think he did get done a little dirty in the judges' scoring, just a little. But I think he got done more dirty in the rankings afterwards. Not being in the division's top 15 after a 1-fight losing streak to a guy that isn't even in the division per se. That's tough. That's real tough. He'll be back though. Jing Liang will be back. I think he will be ranked again, probably in the beginning of 2023. All right. We got 2 more fights to cover. Like I said, we have one fight in particular to cover where one guy fucked up the entire pay-per-view and the press conference, and all the people booed him. And he's the one person in this whole scuffle that I don't feel bad for. We're going to get into that next. I'm sure you guys already know. So co-main event, main event of UFC 279 coming up next. Go follow us on our Twitter at @complete_MMA, and we will be back after a word from our sponsor. All right. Well, Johnny Walker wins. This marker sucks. Johnny Walker wins by submission, first round in a fight that MMA Complete called. Irene Aldana wins by third round TKO in a fight we also picked Aldana. Jing Liang versus Rodriguez ends up being a very close fight that Rodriguez won by split decision in a fight that could have been judged the other way, to be fair, but it wasn't. Or travesty. Did not get that pick right. We had Li Jing Liang. And we got the co-main and the main event next. So we're going to get right into it. Khamzat Chimaev is the sole reason that this entire pay-per-view got fucked up. 2 or 3 days before the pay-per-view is the press conference. The next day is the weigh-in, and then the next day is the pay-per-view, right? All right, so Thursday, September 8th, whatever it was, is the press conference for the pay-per-view, in which you have the 3 top fights, or maybe the 4 top fights, and everybody comes together. Hey, there he is. Better late than never. How we doing, buddy?
Fashion. I call it fashionably on time.
Well, if you're here, I'm gonna go back to the regular, to what we did last week. So.
What is this? 2.
All right.
Oh, this. Oh, yeah.
I forgot. I'm gonna mute real quick. We will be back after a quick commercial. All right, boom, we're back. So I already went over the first 3 fights in the main card. Quick little glance over them all. Johnny Walker, we called it.
Yeah, I knew that. Yeah.
Nice job. Yeah. Irene Aldana versus Macy Chasen. Knockout and fight of the night.
Yeah.
I think I put in an article that it is the 3rd best fight of the year. I thought that fight was crazy.
Yeah,
one of the best women's fights I've ever seen.
Yeah, best women's
fight. And then
of
the knockout, was ridiculous.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the up kick liver kick. First in UFC history.
Yeah.
You know. So and the way that ended, that with everything that way went on, and that's how it ended. It was like, yeah, I can see that.
It would have been so perfect if you showed up just 5 minutes earlier. I just finished talking about Jing Liang Rodriguez in a fight that me and you have a little difference in opinions here.
Yeah.
So I think Jing Liang won.
Yeah, me too.
I don't think he got robbed. I think that this fight was way too close to call. I robbed is a technical term. Like, robbed to me means like it was clear Jing Liang won and he didn't win. Whereas to me, I think it was like 53-47 Jing Liang won. So I'm not mad at the Rodriguez decision.
Yeah. Yeah, I think he won, dude. I mean, he did get robbed, and there will be a rematch. They're saying that there's going to be a rematch. So.
Yeah, Rodriguez was calling for it on his Instagram.
Yeah. I don't know what's going on in my eye.
Now, get this. This was a catchweight fight.
Yeah.
Rodriguez was weighed
10
in.
pounds.
Rodriguez was 180 because his fight with Kevin Holland, which was originally scheduled, was a catchweight 180-pound fight.
Yeah.
So Li Jingling was 171, meaning he fought a guy 1 day notice 9 pounds heavier than him.
Yeah.
Li Jingling was 14th ranked in the welterweight division. Rodriguez was not ranked. Now remember, Rodriguez is 180 pounds, so he's closer to middleweight than he's welterweight.
Mm-hmm.
Rodriguez barely beats Li Jingling, barely.
Mm-hmm.
Now Daniel Rodriguez is number 14 in welterweight. Li Jingling is out of the rankings.
Yeah.
Your thoughts?
I think Jing should be ranked 15, but I mean,
Number 15 is Michelle
or
Pereira.
maybe 13, 14. Well, you got to keep Michelle Pereira up there because he's a name, I guess. In Dana White's side, I think Michelle Pereira is better than Daniel Rodriguez.
I agree.
You know,
I think Li Jingling is a bigger name than all of them, though.
I think now he is. I don't think before this whole card went down, I don't think he was.
He definitely he was kind of. So he just knocked out.
He got very popular after this card. Like,
well,
that suit, dude.
He
All right.
He got way more. Yeah, I already talked about.
Okay. The suit, bro.
How crazy is that? Dropped like whatever it was, probably a good 10 bags on a suit, makeup, hair, shoes, whatever.
Yeah.
Didn't even get to go up to the stage. Fucking RIP.
I mean, everyone did see the suit.
Fucking RIP though. That sucks.
Yeah, there's some funny videos.
Yeah, there is. All right, so we got that out of the way. A great start to the pay-per-view. I thought the main card started off really well.
Yeah.
Walker Cutelaba was a crazy finish. Didn't see it happening. Aldana Chasen, best fight of the night.
Yeah,
Great
I didn't
fight.
see Walker submitting him. I thought it would definitely be by knockout. I knew it was going to go under 1.5. That's why I was a little confused on why you bet. You and Tico bet over 1.5.
I thought it was going to be a decision.
Yeah, I was a little confused.
Because Ion Cutelaba is a wrestler. So I thought it was going to be a slow pace. As soon as it got to the standing, Walker would beat him up.
Yeah.
Could have picked it better. But at least I got one.
Oh, yeah, no, I'm not saying it like that. I'm just I thought it would end early. I didn't think it would be by submission. I thought they would both be swinging by the end of the first.
Right.
But hey, whatever. I mean, if you bet Walker by submission, you fucking
plus 1,400.
Yeah, even if you picked him in verdict, even fucking 39,000 XP or some shit.
Yeah. All right.
Crazy.
Co-main and main event time. Now we've had. What is it? 6 days now. I think it's 5 days. 5 days since the pay-per-view. Right? September 11th, it's 15th. 5
days.
September 10th, it was the 15th. So 5 days. To really, and you can even say like 6 days since the weigh-in, since the shuffle.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on Khamzat Chimaev now? Before I say that for the viewers, I'm sure everybody knows Khamzat Chimaev beat Kevin Holland by Darce choke submission in like a minute and a half. Ragdolled him.
I think he's going to have a harder time doing that to Usman. Do I think he'll be successful? Yes. That's the thing.
So safe to say this fight didn't hurt his skill stock to you at all?
No.
He's still as dominant as a fighter that
Right. Yeah, because that's what all right, so this is how I look at it. This is my point of view. He just knew that he was going to fight this dude, all right? And 24-hour notice? Mm-hmm. His game plan was to do that exact thing that he did. Do I think Kevin Holland fucked up by trying to tap him on the glove? Yeah. Don't tap him on the glove, dude. You just fist bumped. Why are you trying to tap him? Why?
I hear what you're saying. It's a good point. I'd be amiss if I didn't say that most fights start like that. Most fights start with the tap to the glove.
Most, but not this one.
Right.
I mean, I think you can kind of feel the vibe when you get in there. Like you guys, I don't know. I wouldn't have done that, but that's just me. I wouldn't have done that, and I think that had a huge impact. That I'm not saying it would have been a huge impact. I still think Chimaev would have brought him down to the ground 10 seconds later if that didn't happen. But
he took him. He took Kevin Holland down within 5 seconds.
That's what I mean. Like even 15 seconds more, it's a different fight a little bit comparing to what happened.
I think that
I would also
Kevin Holland hurt his shoulder in the fight. He I don't think he tore or separated it, but he hurt his shoulder pretty bad. I think he just hyperextended it or something.
Oh, he torn rotator cuff. That's what
he didn't tear anything. No. He didn't tear anything. He came out on Twitter and said that his shoulder's good. It was just fucked up during the fight. So I think that was one of the reasons that, because for a while, we talked about this a little bit, for a guy that was not training for a wrestler, for a guy that has no wrestling background, he was rolling with Khamzat Chimaev decently well.
Yeah.
Like he was trying to get out of positions and he got out of the first Darce choke. It wasn't anything
It
spectacular.
lasted 2.5 minutes, dude, in big rolling positions.
It wasn't anything spectacular, but he looked like if he had had a full camp against Chimaev, it could be an interesting fight. He might be able to hold his own on the ground. Now, how would that go that long? Probably not. But it's impressive that he was able to do what he did, even as limited as it was.
Oh yeah, we talked about that too. After
Yeah.
it was very impressive what he
So,
did. And hang on, I think the seal. You can see the ceiling that Kevin Holland has now. Though even with that small, I do think Kevin Holland can be a top 5 fighter in that division. I really do, because of his length and his and
yeah,
his
we looked
ground
at it.
game.
He has like a 5-6 inch reach advantage against almost everybody in the division.
And 65, and that weird stats, like people that have over a 6-7 inch reach advantage win 65% of the time.
Yeah.
That's crazy. That's crazy to me.
In a fight that we're going to talk about this weekend is part of that. But yeah, I think Kevin Holland showed a lot. I think that I don't know if he deserves to be ranked yet.
No, I'm saying his ceiling.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just kind of spitballing. But I think that he will be soon.
Yeah, I think he should
Now,
have another
will
top 10
he
rank.
be top 5 of welterweight one day? That's fucking tough, dude. So the top 5 of welterweight. Now, here's what's going for him. All right.
Yeah.
A lot. Chimaev's the only fighter in the top 5 that's not over 33 years old.
Yeah.
Right. So Kevin Holland's 28. Give him 2 years.
Give him 5.
Maybe even 3.
Give him 5.
And by then, all the top fighters would be 35, 36. You know, Usman will probably still be up there. There might be 1 or 2 others, but
He'll be
some
up
of the
there.
fighters will digress. They'll fall down. Kevin Holland could shoot up in that time.
Dana White will give him an easy path to there. I think he blows out of the water the 10 to 15. I consider Kevin Holland top 10.
Well, here's what gets interesting, because top 10 to 15, and I'm going to show the rankings real quick. I'm throwing it on.
Oh, it's not up.
Oh, yeah, I forgot to put it on the screen. All right, so I'm going to read you top 10 to 15.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, we know
Pereira 15, Rodriguez 14.
Beats him.
Neil Magny.
Beats him. Considerably beats him. Neil Magny is done. I think and I'm not saying done.
I think that's a tough fight.
I'm not saying done. I'm saying
I think Kevin
and-
Holland probably could win. I'm
Oh,
not
I
going to
think he
say
wins.
he's not. It's a tough fight.
I'd say
I think Neil Magny is
What would
like,
you give his number? Minus 170? 180?
yeah, about that.
That's what I give him.
Michael Chiesa,
Beats him. Very good
he's a
wrestler.
great wrestler.
Yeah, I know he beat.
And if Kevin Holland can
Gets me
continue
out.
this little wrestler vibe, that shows that he could beat Michael Chiesa, because he obviously beats him standing.
Yeah, I think he's trained with myself.
But here's where the division starts getting tough, right? So that's 15 through 14, and at or 15 through 11.
Yeah.
At number 10, you have Shavkat Rachmanov, and
Oof.
yeah, oof.
Well, that's another top
Kevin
5.
Holland's. Yeah, in a couple of years, Rachmanov will be top 5 of this division.
Yeah, he just had a sick hunting trip, dude. Wherever the fuck he's from,
Oh,
he
yeah.
posted on Twitter,
Kazakhstan.
bro.
So Rachmanov is a tough fucking matchup for anybody. And then you got
I was looking for it.
Vicente Luque, another tough fight. Jorge Masvidal, Sean Brady, Stephen Thompson, Jeff Neal. Now, of all those names, I give it 2 years, and I only see Rachmanov beating him. And Sean Brady. I think Sean Brady could too.
Yeah, sorry, I'm watching this fucking video. It just made me laugh.
You're good. You need a second?
Fucking Glenny Balls, bro. Barstool Sports. Funny.
Yeah.
Sorry. All right, go ahead.
In 2 years, of all the names I named, Kevin Holland beats 2 of them. So right now, and listen, you might disagree with me, you probably do. Usman, Covington, Chimaev, Burns, probably Leon Edwards too. Leon Edwards is like 35 too.
Yeah. Him and Kevin Holland's a great fight.
I don't see any of them losing to Holland. I just don't.
Leon Edwards could lose to Holland. This, I would say, technique and matchup wise, it's a very good matchup.
Yeah, but
fight.
Leon Edwards is maybe the best kickboxer in the division, and that's what Kevin Holland primarily is.
I'm not giving them that. I'm not giving them that yet. Not yet.
Okay, that's
Not
fair.
yet.
I would. And you know,
I'm not
if
saying
age catches up with them, if they get knocked out one more time, yeah, okay, I could see in 2 years Kevin Holland could beat him because he has age on his side. They're going to slow down. I get that.
Well, I would think it would be at least a year and a half until he probably fights one of those people.
Yeah, yeah. Well, you never know because
Him and Kamaev,
2020,
bro.
he fought 5 times.
Yeah, but him and Kamaev, if Kamaev gets the title, dude, and then Kevin Holland fights him, that's a great sell.
But
That's a great sell.
I don't know if it is anymore.
It
I think
is.
that Kevin Holland would have to get 2 or 3 more fights.
Oh no, I'm saying that. I'm saying like possible.
Oh yeah,
future
if he goes on a winning streak, gets ranked
for
yes, that would be a
another
great sell.
like a Leon Edwards,
like a
Usman,
UFC 290 type shit.
like a Leon Edwards.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. I think Dana White's trying to do that more often.
Sure, of course. It's just smart.
It's
marketing.
crazy that Leon Edwards is only he did lose that fight, but he won the war. I would say.
You know that first Usman fight is the last fight he lost.
Yeah, that's what I was just about to say.
2015.
That's what I was about to say. And he has one of the most active streaks now in the UFC, champion. And if he beats Usman again,
Not gonna happen.
if he beats Usman
Not gonna
again,
happen. If he beats him again.
wow. That's the next run for Anderson Silva, no?
So
In that division.
what is UFC's current best streaks?
And I don't think Leon Edwards beats Kamaev, dude. I think that matchup is so bad for Leon Edwards. Like, I don't care if he was the first guy to bring down Kamaru Usman.
All right. So who we got? This was in February, so it's gonna be a little outdated, but we can figure it out. The best fighting winning streaks in the UFC. Number 1 is oh yeah, of course. You with me? You with me? Number 1 is Volkanovski, 11 fight win streak. Leon Edwards is on a 10 fight win
We're
streak.
looking for that photo. 10 fight? Who?
Leon Edwards.
Okay.
So is Islam Makhachev on a 10 fight winning streak. So what's Anderson's record? Was it 16? $16 times. Okay. Edwards isn't gonna get close to there. I'm kind of
That's why I'm saying he's not gonna. I was saying he's the next guy to maybe confront that.
I think Volkanovski is, dude.
Oh, Volkanovski, yeah.
Is Volkanovski on an
But the
11
same
or is he on a
division.
12?
Same division.
Silva was middleweight.
Oh, he was middleweight.
Yeah.
Okay.
I wonder what GSP's record was. I bet it's more than that. I mean, Usman now has the welterweight record
Yeah.
for most. 15 wins in a row is fucking ridiculous. So Volkanovski, first of all, has never lost in the UFC. He's 25-1, right? That's pretty fucking good.
Damn.
So yeah, he's on a 12-fight win
Does
streak.
train with the best of the best though.
He's on a 12. Not only does he train with the best, he beats the best of the best. His last 6 fights: Jose Aldo, Max Holloway 3 times, Brian Ortega, Korean Zombie,
Yeah.
and he's fucked up each and every single one of them.
Man.
All right, so we kind of talked about Kamaev, Holland, Diaz, Ferguson. The main event that was never supposed to be that everyone's happy was. I think we can agree that this fight was better than anything Diaz Kamaev would have came up with.
Oh my God. I think Dana White knew,
I think Dana White was trying to.
and he knew that he fucked up making that. And
I don't know about that. I think Diaz.
man, I don't know. Oh man, there
I
was
think-
no way.
I think that Kamaev finishes Diaz in like 3. It's
Yeah.
2 or 3.
Yeah,
um,
Tony's done, dude.
Yeah, I think that
I'm just gonna fade Tony every time because there's no.
He's still in the rankings.
Oh yeah.
5-fight losing streak. He's still number 15 in the lightweight division. If he
Hey,
wasn't
man.
as big of a name, he wouldn't be ranked.
No, I know. That's what I'm saying. Like people get pissed at Conor McGregor for being up there for so long. I don't know. Tony's. Tony don't need to be around. He'd be like Nate Diaz, dude.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean? He's gonna draw people. Not gonna draw a lot of people. He's gonna draw more than the average person to watch a fight night.
Yeah.
He's gonna put up the ratings for you.
I think it's worth mentioning that I thought there was a good chunk of that fight that I thought Tony was gonna win because he fucked up Nate Diaz's leg.
Oh yeah, that was brutal.
Fucked his leg up badly. And there was a point in like the second or third round where Diaz like walked away and was given this kind of hand motion.
I know. He was like, "Fuck that shit." Like he was playing mind games with him.
Right, he was. Nick Diaz did it too.
He's like, I don't want to fight you if you're gonna do leg kicks. Basically, is what he's saying.
Basically, and Tony kind of stopped doing him.
Yeah. Tony's got a lot of respect for Nate.
But Nate Diaz was landing pieces combos the whole fight, and eventually rocked Tony in the third or fourth. I think it was third, fourth. It was the fourth. As soon as Tony went for the first takedown, within 2 seconds, Nate tapped him out. Nate's jiu-jitsu is fucking spectacular,
it's crazy.
man.
It's crazy how everyone was saying Tony's jiu-jitsu.
Oh, no. Nate has better.
Well,
now,
I know, but
they both have amazing jiu-jitsu. They're both black belts.
Well, like, ever since Darush, dude, Tony's
ground
game's not impressive.
There's differences in each different person's jiu-jitsu, right? Like, Tony's great at leg locks. That's why you saw him go for Imanari rolls all the time.
Turned his back a lot.
Nate Diaz... His guillotine is one of the best guillotines in UFC history.
Yeah.
He's gotten so many submissions with it. So many.
Yeah.
And you saw it. Like he was pushing on the shoulder to tighten the grip, but it was a one-arm guillotine that tapped Tony in like 5 seconds.
Yeah.
So impressive. Nate Diaz wins. Hints that he wants to go to boxing afterwards. Nate Diaz versus Jake Paul coming 2023, possibly.
Yeah, I think Nate Diaz.
You're off camera, by the way.
I am. I think Nate Diaz. I figured one of them would at least retire.
Who?
Fight. Either Tony or Nate.
Oh yeah, I thought so too. Well,
Nate kind of did, but he didn't throw in his gloves.
He also said that once he said he's going to take over another sport, which really should only be boxing. And I think that after that, he said he wants to go back to UFC. I don't know if that's going to happen. But yeah, Nate Diaz wins the pay-per-view. Nate Diaz probably got the fucking bag for it. This is the last thing I'm going to look up, and then I'm going to finish the pod. But I want to see if the purses have come out yet. The purses are going to be super fucked.
Huh.
$5.6 million gate.
It was sold out. It's a lot of damn. That's a lot.
Does this say the highest? Oh, okay. UFC. What was UFC 276? That was a really high gate. UFC 276 was. No.
I'm sorry.
UFC 276 was Adesanya, Cannonier, Volkanovski, Holloway. So it was the highest. It was the second highest gate of the year.
Huh? Really?
Yep.
No. Gate, not the. What's
Fourth.
the pay-per-view?
Fourth. This list doesn't have it.
No.
Fourth highest gate of the year, which still does good. Nate Diaz fucking does that though. UFC 279 payouts.
Oh my god.
Wow, the payouts are huge for this card. It is estimated that Nate Diaz will take home 7.5 mil. Tony will take home 6 mil.
Holy shit. No way.
Performance of the nights go to Johnny Walker, Jailton Almeida, and Irene Aldana.
Wow.
Damn, bro.
6 million?
I don't know how you can really estimate that.
For Tony? That's life-changing money for him.
That's like all that might be as much as he's made in his career to that point.
That's like
maybe
double, triple. Look up what Tony made his last fight.
What was his last fight?
I don't
It wasn't Darush. It was Chandler. That's so much. Well,
that's a lot of money, bro.
You were probably gonna make $1 million. No, you weren't even gonna make.
He wasn't gonna make $1 million, bro. He wasn't gonna make $1 million. He's probably gonna make like 250,000.
Now, let me ask you this: do you think some of that money came out of Kamaev's purse? I would assume that Kamaev lost money.
I wonder how much did Kevin Holland make.
I want to see.
Is that real? 6 mil, 7 mil?
It feels like it shouldn't be. I doubt it.
That's not real. None of the gate was only 5 million, bro.
Tony. Wow, Tony makes a lot. Okay. Tony made 600 grand against Darush.
Okay, but okay. That
Tony made 870 grand against Chandler.
this is a big jump.
Fuck yeah.
This is a big jump. This is 10. That's
he was
10x,
probably
bro.
gonna make like 700K against Jing Liang. I would assume something like that.
Yeah, maybe 900,000. I'm guessing because I'm just averaging.
It was also
keep going up.
It was also well, if you get a percentage of the pay-per-view buys too, and you're on a Diaz card, you're just gonna get more.
Bro.
So he might have been at $1 million, bro. All right, so I got those numbers: 7.5 mil, 6.2 mil off the sportsrush.com. Let me see if I can find MMAsalaries.com. This is the website that I should have gone on the first place. Oh, they don't even have it out yet. Based on estimates of previous contracts, will you see other fighter purses? Let's go to the sportsgrail.com. See what they have to say. This is interesting. For his first fight against Conor McGregor, Nate Diaz earned 600 grand. For his second fight, he earned over 3 mil. Wow. It doesn't have their exact purses here. I would assume it's less than fucking that. If I had to guess, Nate probably got like 3 mil. Tony got.
Well, what did he get paid for
$1.5
Conor?
million.
3 million?
Yeah. But you think about it, his fight against Kamaev, he probably got paid $1 million, but because of this fucking change, you have to get paid more.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm very curious. Hey, tune in next week. Hopefully they'll be up because I definitely want to find out.
This is interesting. Hold on. All right, this is on dailymail.com. Khamzat Chimaev claims he was willing to forfeit his $1.7 million purse to fight Nate Diaz at 279, but instead was forced to face Kevin Holland in a backup. That's interesting. You have any idea what I just said?
I think, man, I think he got.
Oh, this article.
I think he had to have gotten 3 million.
Dude, there's so many differences. All right, this one's saying that the Diaz McGregor 2 pocketed Nate over 5 mil. So,
damn,
listen,
good for you, Nate.
Listen, there's so many contradicting stories.
You don't need Conor McGregor, dude. So what? So we're guessing 2 to 7 million.
Yeah, no, I would really say 3. Like 3, I think is his bottom line.
3 to 7 million, and we're saying Tony.
Like 1 to 3, 1 to 4. There's no way he got paid more than.
No way he got
million.
paid. There's no way he got
There's
paid $6 million.
He got paid that much.
1 million less than Nate. That don't make sense. Dude.
It's this one website, sportsrush.com, that is claiming to have this. Now, here's my thing, right? The gate, the money made at the door, was 5.6 million.
That's what I mean.
So that means that the main event fighters got paid almost 3 times the amount of the gate.
That's what I mean. That's why it doesn't make sense.
That would be.
And the pay-per-view didn't make 20 million.
It is estimated by several reports that Diaz will make 7.5 for his victory. Okay, so here's interesting. Those are only victory numbers, right? So Diaz might actually have taken 7.5.
Because he won.
3.7 mil for fight, 3.7 for win. And then Tony might only get 3. because he
That's
didn't
so much,
win.
That's so much money.
Mm.
So you're talking about just $10 million for the main event.
Yeah.
Not counting Kevin Holland, not counting Kamaev, not counting.
Well,
Irene
Kamaev
Aldana.
might have made $1 million. After all that, he probably made over $1 million. No one else made $1 million though.
What did Jing Yang win?
This doesn't have
Doesn't
it.
say.
No. Let's check Sportpedia and what they have to say on the matter. How much will Nate Diaz earn from this fight? Nate Diaz will make $750,000.
Nobody knows.
Oh, did I just fucking read it wrong? Hold on now. That probably makes more fucking sense. Did I just read this wrong? There's no way you only got paid that much. Is there? I mean, that would make a lot more sense if they got paid $750,000 and $616,000. That would make a lot more fucking sense.
Make a lot more sense to me.
I doubt, dude. Really though, I feel like there was some backdoor ramblings going on there though. Like, we'll say you made $750,000, we'll give you an extra 300. Like, for you to have a 5-round fight get switched on a day's notice in the main event, that you now control the fucking pay-per-views like life. Like,
Might have been a lot of royalties involved.
That's what I mean. Like,
he could have been gotten. They could have gotten paid $7 million, $6 million.
Backdoor dealings kind of stuff. That had to have happened.
That had to have happened.
So that's basically what this is saying, because I've now found 2 different. What is it? The Sportspedia page was the one that looked pretty good.
Hey, The Rock signed a deal with the UFC.
Yeah, did you see Nate Diaz bashing his shoes?
Yeah, it was funny.
He said, "Look at these shitty ass shoes the UFC's making me fucking wear. They suck."
Yeah, well, he was supposed to get. The fighters got no money, dude.
They got no money, and they were told they have to wear them.
Forced to wear it. Yeah, I think that's messed up.
It's
Dana
fucked
White.
up.
I think that's fucked up. I
don't know how you can even do that.
Private company.
No, yeah, but like, do you think there's a clause in contract that like the UFC brand deals have to be worn by you? Like Venom, you have to wear Venom now. Do you think they are now saying the Rock's shoes are part of that branding deal?
Yeah.
That's crazy. Do you even know the Rock's shoe brand name? I don't.
It's like Texas Longhorns fucking looking thing. The Rock's fucked, right? The Rock's gonna get audited by the IRS pretty soon here. And
Project Rock.
From XFL,
That's what they're
dude.
called, Project Rock.
That XFL, he's fucked from them.
Oh yeah.
He's getting sued by them.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was one of the partners that bought it. Yeah.
Well, there was some thing about him doing insider trading with them.
Anymore.
No, sorry, people don't want to see me anymore.
Okay.
People.
You're doing insider trading.
Yeah. So they're gonna. Well, it should be on camera. I'm right fucking sitting in the.
Now you are. Now you are.
Anyway, fucking, The Rock's a bitch, is what I'm saying.
Whoa, guy, that's quite a statement there. Think you could sell pay-per-view with him? Would you fight The Rock for $750,000?
I'd pull a Jorge Masvidal on The Rock.
For $750,000, would you fight The Rock?
I'd punch him in his fucking head and I walk away.
Yeah. I don't know about that, buddy.
Yeah, fuck The Rock.
I would take him down. I would put him in a neck crank.
That dude is not The Rock. All right, that dude's a fucking pretender, The Rock. I want to see the real Rock, because he's all in front of the cameras all the time. Like, who's the real Dwayne The Rock Johnson?
All right, we're time over, so I'm gonna end it quick. I'm just gonna throw these out there real quick. Sandhagen or Yadong, who you taking? How it's gonna happen? This is literally the last thing we gotta say. So.
Yeah, Yadong song.
Really?
Yeah.
I got Sandhagen by decision. All right, that's it. Make sure you guys follow us on our Twitter, MMA at @complete_MMA. And make sure you stay tuned, because we're going to be tweeting out a bunch of articles that I've done over the last couple of weeks. And we're going to be talking about UFC 280 coming up in October. And that's really it, guys. Thank everybody for tuning in. Make sure you check us out on Twitter. Stay tuned for next week when we do our podcast next week, the 22nd for episode 112. I hope you guys won some bets this weekend as well, and have a good night. Thank
Yeah,
you
'cause
again
I
for
didn't.
tuning in.
And when